Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Vikas Nera. In today's video, you will learn how to install FastPanel on CentOS 7. First, let's learn about FastPanel and its use. So here I go to the FastPanel website. As you can see, it's a free server control panel similar to cPanel, Webmin, or CyberPanel. This control panel is free forever. You can use it with any number of websites. It can be installed on various systems, including CentOS 7, Ubuntu, and Almo Linux. The installation process is very straightforward. It's available in 8 different languages. First, I'll show you some of its features. The dashboard is very user-friendly. When you come here, you'll see different websites. Let's click on the demo version. If I click on the demo version, it will look like this. Go here, then click on Go To. Let me show you first, then we'll install it on the server, okay? Something like this will appear. For example, if you have 4 websites added, you'll see them listed here. In the upper corner, when you click, you'll also see that there are 4 websites. Below that, you'll find settings. So first, let's look at a website here. I clicked on it, and now all the options for this website appear. You'll see DNS, database, mail, backup, file manager, cron jobs, SSL certificates, logs, and manual settings. You get everything here. From here, you can install SSL certificates, view logs, and adjust manual settings. You have access to everything. The design is also very intuitive, meaning even a person new to web hosting can understand it. Its design is arguably better than cPanel's. So now that you know its uses and that it's free forever, let's install it on CentOS 7. As I mentioned, it can be installed on various systems like CentOS, Ubuntu, and Almo Linux, but in this video, I'll focus on CentOS 7. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'll be posting more videos about control panels, VPNs, mail servers, and other related topics. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, in this video, we'll use a DigitalOcean VPS and a free domain. We'll create a droplet on DigitalOcean, and I'm going to use this free domain. You can also use a provider like Vultr, where port 25 is open by default. Port 25 is primarily used for email, so you might find that useful. Okay, so first, I'll click on Create, then Droplet, and here I'll select CentOS 7. I've already done that. I'm scrolling down, and I'm selecting the $40 plan, but you can choose whichever plan meets your requirements. I've selected the plan and chosen a data center. Now, I'll set up the password. The password I'm going to use in this video is this one. Let me copy and paste this. Okay, it's showing here. Let's generate a new one from the password generator. You should use the same password everywhere. Click on Generate Password here. Let's see if it's working or not. Okay, this is done. You can use the same password in all your videos as well. Now, in the hostname field, enter your domain name. I'll paste it here and click on Create Droplet. After creating the VPS, you'll get an IP address. I'll refresh it quickly. Whatever IP you get, you need to add 2 records for it in your DNS settings. One should point from the @root domain, one from the mail subdomain, and optionally, you can add one for www as well. By default, there might already be a record for www, but if not, you can add one. Okay, so I've got my IP here. I'll copy it and add the records. I've added the IP here. Okay, so we have the IP, the password is set, and the domain is configured. We're ready to proceed. Now let's log into the server. I'll open my terminal, paste the IP here, and connect. You need to log in as root here. The password is what we set earlier. I'll copy and paste it here, then press enter. Now that you're logged in as root, you need to run this command. Go to the FastPanel website. Look here, I've run this command for Ubuntu. If you're using CentOS, you need to run this command instead. As I mentioned earlier, it can be installed on various servers. So, okay, I'll copy the second command and paste it. After that, you need to type yes, press enter, yes, press enter, yes, press enter. Okay, it's done. Next, you need to run this command. It's very simple. After running only 2 commands, your work will be done. I copied it, pasted it here, and clicked enter. If you're getting this error about disabling SE/Linux, here's what you need to do. You need to run this command. I ran one command, and you need to add one here, right? Look, all of this here is the same, only this part is different. So what do you need to do now? If you want to edit, look here where it says Insert. I'll scroll down a bit, delete this part, and paste what I just copied. Do you want to disable SE/Linux? To disable SE/Linux, press the Escape key on your keyboard, then type : and press Enter. Wait, it wasn't entered correctly here. To set SE/Linux to permissive mode, type this command and copy it, then go down here. Paste it, press Escape, and then type a WQ and press Enter. Okay, it's saved. What you need to do next is type this command. You'll need to reboot the system. Because if you type the same command again, the same disable option will appear, which you've just changed. But it won't take effect right now. You'll need to shut down the BPS. So I'll run this shutdown command and press Enter. Okay. After the shutdown, if you try again, the system should have restarted. It takes some time, about a minute for the machine to restart. Okay, I'll try connecting again. I'll open PuTTY, enter the IP, and click Connect. Okay, it's connected. I'll paste the password here and we're in. Now let's run this command again. Okay, I'll paste it here. Our installation has started. We only encountered one error, which we solved by running net1 command. Here, where it says Selinux equals enforcing, you need to change it to Selinux equals disabled. That's the only change you need to make, and then your installation will start after a reboot. Only then will these changes be applied. After that, the installation of FastPanel will begin. It's very straightforward. Let it install. It will take some time, about 10 minutes. I'll continue the video after the installation is complete. FastPanel has now been installed. On the second day, you'll get this message. Okay, so what you need to do next is copy this link. Your IP address followed by a colon and the port number. I'll copy it and paste it here in the URL bar. Press Enter, go to Advanced, and proceed to the site. After that, you'll see a login username and password. The login username is FastUser and the password is here. Okay. Once you're here, the first thing you need to do is activate the license. To do that, you need to go to the FastPanel website. It's simple. After arriving there, you need to click on Register, enter your email here, enter your password, and your account will be created. After that, you need to log in. I'm already logged in, so I'll click on Login. Okay, and then you'll get a dashboard like this. So I'll enter the email ID of my FastPanel account here and click on Activate. Okay, and check the status. It's showing activated here. I'll refresh the page again. Now I'll refresh here. Has any email come from FastPanel? Okay, from FastPanel. I've received it here. I'll click on it. This is for validation. Okay, so it has been validated here. Okay, after that, what I do is click on Check Status again, and everything is cleared. After that, you enter the username and password you got here. Username. And I'll copy the password and enter it here, then click OK. After that, there's an option here, so you need to scroll down and click Accept. Okay, it's asking you to enter your email address for password recovery. This means a recovery email. You can enter any email address you'll remember for recovery. You can enter your email ID here. Okay. So now you've completely logged into the FastPanel dashboard. Don't do anything yet. As soon as you log in here, it will ask for the email ID you used to register on FastPanel. After that, it will send a validation link. You need to click on it, then enter the user ID and password, and you'll be logged in here. What you need to do here is simply click on the plus sign. As soon as you click on the plus sign, it will ask for the domain name. Enter your domain name and click Next. Here it's asking what configuration you want. You can select what you want, and if you want to create a new user, you can do that, or we can keep the current user. Okay, and here you can do all the things you need. If you want to make any changes, you can do so by clicking on Change here. I'll click Next. Here it's asking about backups. If you want to set that up, you can do so. I'll click Next and then go to Site. I click, and my site is ready here. All the options I have appeared here. For example, if you want to create an email account here, you need to go to Mail. In the Mail section, you first need to add a domain. Click on Save for the same domain you created earlier. After that, click on New Mailbox. Here, I'll create one for admin and use the same password. I entered the password and clicked on Save. Okay, as soon as I click Save, my email ID was created here. You can access it by opening RoundCube from here. Your RoundCube webmail will open, and people can log in by entering these details here. I clicked on Login. Here we are logged in. From here, I'll send a test email. Click on Compose. Let's send a mail. I clicked on Send. It shows sent here, and after coming back, I'm refreshing to see if my mail has arrived or not. Please check your mail here. I've received it. Let me check again. Look here, here's my mail which has been received. It's working fine. If you want to set it up in Gmail, you'll need SPF, TKIM, and Mark Records. If you want to, you'll need to set these up. I've covered this in many of my other videos about mail servers. For example, if you want to set up SPF, you just need to replace this with your IP and add this TXT record. Similarly, you need to add a DMARC record. You need to keep the domain name here and add the DMARC record as a TXT record. Okay, so I made many videos related to mail services. I've explained all these things in detail there. So now, let's continue. I'll go back here and click on Site. Here, we've learned how to create a mailbox. If you want to upload a file, you need to go to File. In the File section, you can upload your files. There's an upload arrow here. If you click on it, you can upload a file from here. And you can create databases from here as well. Okay, after that, there's the cron job section. If you have any PHP scripts that need scheduled tasks, you can set up cron jobs. By clicking on New Job here, you can enter your cron job details. And if you want to install an SSL certificate, you can do that too. I clicked on SSL here, then clicked on New SSL. Then I clicked on Let's Encrypt here and clicked Save. Okay, it's being created now. If there's any problem, an error message will appear here. This error message usually appears if you haven't properly set up your domain's DNS records. For example, if your main domain is supposed to be www, but it hasn't been properly set up yet, you'll get this error. So, after setting up the server and inserting the DNS records, you should wait for about half an hour to an hour before trying this again. Only then will it work properly. You might get a similar error otherwise, okay? There are also many other options here, like settings and redirects. For example, if you need to redirect from HTTP to HTTPS, you can do that. All the details are here, just like you have in cPanel. All the options available in cPanel are available here, and this is for lifetime use. In your FastPanel account, you'll see all your licenses. These are for unlimited sites. And look here, it shows it's valid indefinitely, meaning you can use it for free as much as you want. It's completely free. It's very easy to manage a site. There are all the mail functions here. You can create databases, set up cron jobs, etc. So in this video, I wanted to show you how you can manage a site here, and all for free. I find it to be the best alternative to cPanel. The design is also good for understanding, and it includes a mail system that you can use as well. So that's all for this video. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and thank you for watching the video.